Welcome. Welcome to our Thursday express meditation. Um, hmm, last week I had a bit of a detour and reflecting a bit on Thanksgiving. So we'll uh, we'll get back on the path to enlightenment today with our um, topic of guru devotion. So um, today it'll be focused a bit on, or not a bit, but completely on faith. What does faith mean? The importance of having faith in our teachers. Um, a little bit of what it is and what it is not. So that we bring our attention, our focus, and our mind into this space, grounding our body, grounding our thoughts, checking our posture, making sure we're comfortable. And becoming aware of our breath. Just observing our body breathing, the sensation of the breath, the inhale, expansion, and the contraction and the exhale. So we'll just watch our breath for about a minute. And then we set our motivation for the meditation. May we become good people. May we be virtuous. May we follow the Buddha Dharma. We do this so that we can transform our minds, we can become enlightened Buddhas, so that we can lead all sentient beings to enlightenment. Because without the wisdom realizing emptiness, we don't know what the sentient beings need to transform their minds. So we bring to mind our example that we've been working with, um, this teacher that's been in your life at some point, whether it was when you were a child or middle-aged or later on, um, whether they were a formal teacher at a school, or maybe they were a neighbor or a parent or a relative, but someone that was able to convey knowledge to you. So we're looking at this devotion to the spiritual friend, and there's this aspect of cultivating faith, because it's on this it's on the basis of this faith that the qualities of the spiritual friend become enhanced. And there's many forms of faith. We can have faith in the Buddha, Dharma, Sangha. We can have faith in the law of karma. And it goes on. But the faith that we're talking about here is the firm belief that your teacher, your spiritual teacher, is a Buddha. So if you think about that for a moment, that can be difficult. Easier for some, but more difficult for others. Because this spiritual friend, this spiritual teacher, is a human, walking, talking, living amongst us. So how is it that we can see a human as a Buddha? But it's a really important aspect because seeing the spiritual teacher as a Buddha, this is the foundation of all the realizations. Is this faith and the practice of seeing um, this faith of the seeing the spiritual friend as the Buddha and seeing all living beings as our mothers. These are like the two most difficult um, learnings to grasp on the graduated path to enlightenment. But without these, then the other realizations, they're not going to come. So they're really important to work with. Probably don't come in one session. So we have to work on them. We have to work on them for years sometimes, or maybe even lifetimes. So there's some old stories and proverbs from Tibet, and one of them talks about that in Tibet, although there are many people who meditate and they practice, there are not many who attain special qualities. And this was at the time when, the Buddha Dharma was just arriving to Tibet. So it was many years ago. And this question was posed to Atisha. Why is that? And Atisha's response was that the development of all the qualities depends on the guru. And he commented that Tibetans relate to the guru as an ordinary person. So not as a Buddha, but as an ordinary person, a friend, a buddy. He says, how can you expect to attain higher qualities when you hold this view? So think about that for a moment. Think about the spiritual friend in your life, the guru in your life. Are they ordinary? Or are they extraordinary? Are they Buddha? And it's not so easy to see, is it? We have to work on it. We can see some good qualities, some positive qualities, some inspiring qualities, and we see some things that we're not sure about. So what do? We test, we validate, we assess, because that's what the Buddha instructed us to do. And this helps us generate that faith. It's like inquisitiveness or constructive inquiry. Why is it necessary to regard the teacher as a Buddha? Why is that so important? So it's really important because we we wish to profit from our practice. We don't want to have a loss in our practice. So the teaching says that if you regard the spiritual friend as a Buddha, whether they are a Buddha or not, then you receive the blessings of a Buddha. And if you regard the spiritual friend as an ordinary person, though they may have the power of a Buddha, then you'll receive no blessings. So essentially, mm, yeah, the guru's blessings, right? They might be great, they might be small, but the blessing you receive depends on the degree to which you see the teacher as the Buddha. So it's your mind. So just as your example teacher um, in your life, it doesn't matter how much knowledge that they have, but if you don't have that faith and you don't put the effort in to what they're saying and what they're teaching you, how does it become knowledge? So it's the same here. Without faith, even if you spend your life with a guru who's actually a Buddha, then you're not able to see the infinite qualities, but only the faults. And then we sustain a loss in our practice. So what do we do? How do we go about this? We need to strengthen this faith through practice, through meditation, focusing our attention on our spiritual friends' extensive qualities, whatever we can identify, whatever we can see. Through this attention, then our faith will be strengthened. So if you think about it, can you see that if you strengthen this faith, then you kind of overcome any tendency that we have to dwell on the faults of our spiritual friend. They become mm, less or insignificant. I suppose you could compare it to gold, where it says on the gold bar, 99.9% pure. And you accept that and you believe in that and you trust in that 99.9%. And the 0.1%, well, completely insignificant. Don't care at all because I have 99.9% pure gold. That pureness of that faith, the just completely outweighs. It's the faith in that spiritual friend, the faith in the qualities of the spiritual friend becomes the most strong, the most visible. So if we focus on these good qualities and we fill our mind with thoughts of these, then our tendency to see the faults, those be those are overcome. They're overcome just as the um, sunshine becomes more significant than the moon, and then you don't see the moon. So as we go through the week to come, we can check our mind. How are we perceiving our spiritual friend? What are their qualities? And how do those qualities help me develop faith in their knowledge and their teaching? Dedicate all of these merits contemplating faith in our spiritual friends, strengthening our practice, reducing the negativity in our minds, just for our own sake, but for the sake of all sentient beings. May all the merits that we've generated grow until samsara is completely exhausted of sentient beings. You, everyone.